The fact of the matter is that the both sides argument doesn't fly anymore, and we don't care. That argument is dead. What began as a ripple, almost a whisper in the crowded corridors of media, soon became a storm. Greg Gutfeld, one of Fox News' most recognized and popular figures, known for his sharp-edged commentary and late-night platform, had reportedly made the decision to leave the network. The announcement surprised many given his prominent standing and the momentum that had carried him into the upper ranks of cable news viewership. Yet there it was. Gutfeld, a fixture in Fox's primetime lineup, was leaving. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates. Moments like this inevitably raise questions about what such a departure means for the man himself, for the network, and for the broader media landscape. Gutfeld's rise at Fox was remarkable. He began as an insurgent voice in smaller time slots and gradually ascended through panels and his own program, ultimately becoming a defining part of Fox's late-night identity. His show wasn't just part of the nightly conversation, it became part of the conservative media infrastructure. For him to walk away now represents more than a career move. It's a turning point. The reasons behind his decision remain unclear. Perhaps it was contract fatigue, a desire for creative freedom, or the sense that he had reached a plateau at Fox. It could also have been the result of internal changes within the network, shifts in leadership, evolving strategy, or changing audience demographics that made his role feel less aligned than before. Maybe Gutfeld himself sensed that his personal brand could thrive better elsewhere, or that the pressures of primetime commentary were evolving in ways that demanded new approaches. Whatever the combination of factors, the outcome marks the closing of a major chapter. For Fox News, Gutfeld's departure presents a challenge and a strategic crossroads. The network has long relied on marquee personalities to anchor programming and retain audiences in an era dominated by streaming, podcasts, and social media alternatives. When one of those key figures exits, Fox must rethink its strategy. How do they replace him? What kind of show will take his place? Will new voices rise within Fox, or will outside competitors step into the gap? Managing this kind of succession is critical. Audiences don't always stay, and an empty chair invites competition. On a deeper level, this moment highlights how television news hosts today resemble brands more than simple anchors. Gutfeld's identity was inseparable from his style, irreverent, combative, and comedic, yet earnest in his own way. When a personality like that departs, the question becomes not just who takes his slot, but who can capture his tone, his rhythm, and his relationship with viewers. The issue isn't merely about programming, it's about voice, identity, and fit. Will Fox try to replicate Gutfeld's formula or reinvent the format entirely? Whatever direction they choose will create ripples across the network. Timing also plays a role. Gutfeld's career trajectory had been climbing steadily, with strong ratings and a loyal viewership. That momentum suggests his departure may be a strategic reinvention rather than a decline. Leaving while still successful is a bold but potentially wise move. It gives him freedom, leverage, and control over his next chapter. For Fox, however, it means moving fast to retain a portion of that engaged audience and to determine whether those viewers will stay with the network or follow the man himself. The departure of a major name always tests audience loyalty. Do viewers remain loyal to the network brand, or do they migrate with the personality they trust? For Gutfeld, the possibilities are both exciting and uncertain. Professionally, it opens new doors, creative freedom, new ventures, or perhaps a step back from the relentless nightly grind. But it also carries risks. The loss of a massive platform, the challenge of rebuilding elsewhere, or the potential that his next move may not match his previous reach. Still, given his influence, Gutfeld is well positioned to adapt. Others before him have successfully transitioned to podcasts, streaming shows, independent platforms, book deals, or live tours. The media world today is decentralized, and personal brands matter more than ever. Beyond the immediate implications for Fox and Gutfeld, this development reflects a broader shift in the media landscape. Cable networks once ruled television, but now face pressure from fragmented audiences, digital platforms, and shortened attention spans. Holding an audience for an hour each night is harder than ever. As a result, networks have leaned heavily on strong personalities who command loyalty and engagement. But when such figures leave, it exposes how fragile that system really is. The exit of a big name leaves a hole that isn't easily filled. This is especially true for conservative media, where identity and ideological loyalty run deep. The exit of a major host prompts serious questions about alignment and strategy. Will Fox adjust its tone, reach out to younger viewers, or double down on its traditional audience? Did Gutfeld leave because he foresaw a shift in the network's approach, or because he sensed that public tastes were changing? The network now faces the dual challenge of maintaining its cohesion while adapting to evolving viewer expectations. It also changes how viewers relate to media personalities. Decades ago, anchors were inseparable from the institutions they represented. Today, the reverse is often true. Audiences follow people, not networks. Personalities like Gutfeld build loyal communities that move with them across platforms. This gives them power, but it also raises the stakes when they decide to leave. Their exits become cultural events, not just corporate announcements. Gutfeld's decision exemplifies the life cycle of modern media careers. Even those deeply embedded in major networks can walk away on their own terms. Whether driven by ambition, reinvention, or fatigue, leaving at the top can be a smart way to preserve one's legacy. From Fox's perspective, this likely triggered internal debates over succession, talent development, and programming structure. Should they promote from within, hire externally, or reimagine the time slot entirely? Each option carries risk, especially when audiences may resist a successor or drift away. There are financial implications as well. High-profile hosts command large contracts, and their departures may initially reduce costs, but also threaten ad revenue and audience share. Fox must carefully balance short-term savings against long-term impact. Gutfeld's exit thus affects not just content, but also the network's economic and strategic calculations. For viewers, this change forces reflection. The absence of a familiar face alters habits and emotional connections. Some will stay with Fox, others will follow Gutfeld. Still others may explore new media entirely. These shifts will reshape viewership patterns and the broader competition between networks and platforms. The event is as much about audience psychology as it is about programming. At another level, this move symbolizes a growing desire among top media figures for control and independence. Gutfeld may use this moment to pursue ventures that give him more creative autonomy or ownership. The era of the personal brand is in full swing. Hosts are no longer just employees, but entrepreneurs of their own image. This transition also pressures networks like Fox to rethink how they structure contracts and retain talent. The media ecosystem itself is evolving into a complex web of television, streaming, podcasting, and social media. A personality can now carry an audience across all of these. If Gutfeld embraces that model, his move could accelerate a broader trend away from traditional television toward a more flexible, decentralized media world. This departure also lands at a time of heightened competition and political polarization. Gutfeld's unique mix of humor and skepticism gave viewers a way to process heavy news through satire. Without that, Fox risks losing a tonal balance that appealed to audiences weary of relentless political intensity. The network must now decide whether to lean harder into commentary or pivot toward lighter, more varied formats. Behind the cameras, the effects will ripple internally. Staff, writers, and producers who helped shape Gutfeld's distinctive voice will either follow him or adapt to new leadership, potentially spreading elements of his comedic style throughout the network. His creative DNA may linger long after he's gone. Ultimately, this moment raises a larger question. Who holds the real power in modern media? The corporation or the individual who commands the audience? Gutfeld's departure could shift the balance further toward the latter. Networks used to control tone and content, but now personalities with loyal fan bases wield unprecedented leverage. Few cable hosts achieve both popularity and originality, but Gutfeld did. His mix of satire and conservative commentary created a late-night show that stood apart from the mainstream. By leaving, He locks in that legacy as the first right-leaning late-night host to truly rival the traditional competition in both ratings and relevance. Every media career follows an arc: curiosity, connection, saturation, and successful figures know when to exit. Gutfeld's timing suggests strategic awareness. Leaving while still at his peak allows him to control his narrative and preserve his image. In media, perception is power, and managing one's own exit is the ultimate act of control. For Fox, the challenge now is managing risk and reinvention. The network must retain advertisers, maintain morale, and find the next voice who can balance innovation with the familiarity that keeps viewers loyal. Done right, this could